Welcome to Peace Stories. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama. Today's tale, buckle in, because this isn't just HOA, Karen being annoying. This is HOA Karen trespassing, scheming, gaslighting, and learning exactly what happens when you poke the wrong dog owner one too many times. So I bought this property, a beautiful half-acre corner lot with a big front yard, perfect landscaping, and two well-trained but extremely protective Belgian Malinois named Diesel and Pepper. They're the kind of dogs that look like they belong in a SWAT team, and frankly, that's exactly why I got them. It was peace, privacy, and a fortress of solitude. Until Karen happened. You see, Karen had recently weaseled her way into being the acting HOA president after the last one moved away mysteriously. She was the kind of woman who wore a clipboard like it was a fashion accessory. High visibility vest in her trunk, always ready to quote the bylaws like scripture. But the power got to her head. She started making up rules, decorating mandates, fence paint codes. And worst of all, she decided my lawn was the ideal neutral space to hold HOA meetings. At first, I thought it was a mistake. I came home one evening to find a few plastic chairs set up near my rose bushes and three neighbors sipping lukewarm coffee like it was a brunch. I told them, politely, to get the hell off my property. They laughed, said Karen said it was community land. I pointed at my deed. They pointed at Karen. The next week, they were back. More chairs, a card table, a goddamn sign that said HOA Planning Council welcome neighbors. On my yard. I told Karen to cut it out. She told me I was being unneighborly. So I wrote a formal notice. She ripped it up in my face. Third week, they brought snacks. 14 people sitting on my grass, breaking cookies, gossiping about fences, and whispering like they were planning an HOA coup. So I snapped. But I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I stood on my porch, raised my fingers to my lips, and gave a single sharp whistle. Diesel and Pepper came tearing out of the side gate like furry missiles. No biting, don't get it twisted, but enough barking, circling, and intimidation to make Karen shriek like a haunted banshee. Folding chairs flew. Coffee was launched. A man named Jerry tripped over a sprinkler and cried. The fallout was immediate and glorious. Karen screamed something about assault with animals as she waddled across the street, clutching her clipboard like a riot shield. One guy left his Crocs behind. Someone's Tupperware full of cucumber sandwiches exploded across my mulch bed. I swear I saw old Mrs. Patterson do a commando roll behind my hedge. Diesel and Pepper stood proud, tails wagging, tongues out like they just completed a high-level military op. I gave them each a steak that night, medium rare. They earned it. But Karen? She didn't learn. No, she doubled down. The very next day, I got a letter not from her, not from the HOA, but from some off-brand legal firm she clearly found on Craigslist. Cease and desist from endangering community members, it read, typed in Comic Sans. Comic Sans. I laughed so hard I framed it and put it in the guest bathroom. Along with that, she sent out a community-wide email claiming I had unleashed savage beasts on a peaceful gathering of responsible citizens. She included a blurry photo of Diesel licking someone's ankle. So I fought fire with fireworks. That Friday, I hosted the anti-HOA barbecue on the same lawn, invited every non-HOA affiliated neighbor. Bouncy house, smoker grill, cornhole, loud music, the works. No chairs were stolen, no one brought a clipboard, and I had signs everywhere. Private property, no Karens allowed, and my personal favorite, trespassers will be licked aggressively. Karen showed up, of course. She marched down my driveway wearing giant sunglasses and a fake smile, camera out like she was filming for court. I waved. Diesel growled. She left. But she wasn't done scheming. A few days later, I caught a whiff of what she was really up to. My landscaper texted me and said, "Hey man, did you authorize a survey crew?" No. Turns out, Karen had hired someone on HOA money to verify property boundaries, trying to prove my front lawn was common area through some half-baked plat map she found online. Plot twist, my house used to be outside the HOA entirely, and the only reason it's under their thumb now is because Karen forced a rule change the year before. Thing is, she didn't know the easement she was citing had expired 10 years ago. So I filed a counter report with city zoning. You should have seen her face when a city official showed up and informed her on record that the lawn was in fact indisputably legally and permanently mine. Oh, but we're just getting warm. After the zoning official put her in her place with that sweet, sweet phrase, "Ma'am, this isn't your land and never was," Karen's face twisted like she just swallowed a lemon dipped in vinegar. But you know Karen. Logic doesn't compute. She strutted back to her HOA hive with steam coming off her bob cut, and that's when the gloves came off. She started a campaign, flyers, emails, even stood at the corner handing out leaflets like it was some kind of HOA cult recruitment drive. The headline: Protect Our Community from Dangerous Dog Owner. Below that was a photoshopped picture of me, looking like a Bond villain holding Diesel's leash like a nuclear detonator. She tried to find me for creating a hostile environment. I laughed so hard I nearly passed out. She tried to call animal control. Guess what? I already had both dogs licensed, trained, and registered as emotional support animals. Karen got served a counter warning for filing a false complaint. The animal control guy even pet Pepper before leaving. I gave him ribs from the anti-HOA barbecue. Then came the sneaky move. One night, I noticed lawn chairs had mysteriously returned to my property. Not in broad daylight this time, no. This was ninja HOA behavior. I checked my cameras, and yep, at 2 a.m., Karen and three of her cronies tiptoed across my lawn like diet burglars and planted fold-up chairs like HOA landmines. They even staked a laminated sign that read Community Circle Zone. She was trying to provoke me, set me up, maybe get me arrested, maybe catch me on camera retaliating. But here's what she didn't know. I had upgraded my security cams with night vision, motion tracking, and automatic cloud backups. I downloaded the footage, sent it to the local police with a nice little bow on top, labeled trespassing evidence, enjoy. Karen got a visit. Not arrested, unfortunately, but she was given an official citation and a warning that any further trespassing would result in charges. She told the officer it was a misunderstanding. The officer pointed at the timestamp. She shut up. And just when I thought she'd retreat and lick her wounds, oh no. Karen came back swinging. She called an emergency HOA meeting. This time, she didn't try to hold it on my lawn. She tried to move it to my driveway. The next morning, I woke up to cones, folding tables, and Karen barking orders like she was hosting a yard sale from hell. I didn't even whistle. I opened the gate, leaned down, and whispered, "Go get 'em." The HOA elite never saw it coming. Pepper came first, fast, silent, like a stealth missile made of fur and vengeance. Diesel followed, bounding out with enough speed to rattle the folding tables. Karen screamed before they even touched grass. She flailed backward into the punch bowl like a Walmart version of Cinderella losing her glass slipper. Jerry tripped over a traffic cone. Again. This time he stayed down, clutching his clipboard like it might save him from Judgment Day. Let me be clear, my dogs didn't bite. They didn't need to. Just the way they barked, circled, and stared had every one of those HOA clowns scattering like roaches under a floodlight. Karen tried to climb into the back of a Prius that wasn't even hers. Pepper cornered her. Diesel peed on the laminated Community Circle Zone sign. I stood there sipping my iced tea, enjoying the chaos like it was dinner theater. But this time, it wasn't just for laughs. I had filed for a restraining order earlier that week and used the footage from the midnight chair invasion to back it up. When the HOA tried to file harassment charges against me, the court laughed them out the room. Literally. The judge chuckled. He released dogs on his own property to remove trespassers. The case collapsed harder than Karen's home highlights. But it gets better. Turns out, Karen had been misusing HOA funds to pay for those late-night survey teams and all the propaganda flyers. And someone, a sweet little whistleblower with a guilt problem and access to the HOA books, sent it all to the city. Boom. Full audit. HOA accounts frozen. Karen's personal bank flagged for suspicious reimbursements. Her position as president? Revoked. Not resigned. Revoked. Publicly. In an emergency meeting held in a public park because, get this, they were no longer allowed to meet anywhere near my property. Karen tried to save face, said it was all a misunderstanding, tried to claim I forged the security footage, so I dropped the final nuke. I streamed the whole ordeal online. Title: How My Dogs Fixed the HOA. It went viral. Local news picked it up. Karen's face, smeared mascara, wild-eyed, backpedaling across my lawn, became a meme. People started tagging their own HOA horror stories with #Pepper and Diesel. And me, I got peace. No more flyers, no more folding chairs, just the sound of my dogs lounging in the sun and the HOA learning the hard way that you don't mess with a man who trains his dogs better than they train their meetings.